What's going on, YouTube? We are live on a Wednesday night with the Super Deformed Gamescast. We've almost got a full house tonight. Doc and Steve will not be with us. Steve is caught driving, but he is actually listening to us right now. And Doc may or may not be in tonight. I'm not sure about him yet, but if he does, welcome him with open arms. This is kind of a special episode tonight. It's been an interesting day, and what with everything that's gone down with PS4K, we thought we would come together and kind of give our thoughts on it. And then after that, at 10 o'clock, as everybody knows, or as everybody should know, the Final Fantasy 15 Uncovered event is going to go down, and we are going to stick around and watch that live together and give our thoughts on it. And you guys are welcome to hang out with us and as you're watching and give us your thoughts as well. So for anybody who doesn't know, somebody in NeoGAF today leaked a shitload of information on PS4K. And if you have not seen it, so I'll read the post. It's not incredibly long. And then we're going to talk about our thoughts on it, starting with Brandon and going on down the line. And after that, we're going to bounce some ideas back and forth about what we think this might mean for Sony and the industry as a whole. So from Osiris Black on NeoGAF, here's how the post starts. Price is currently $399. They were discussing a better CPU, which would raise the price to $499. We were guaranteed the price would be no higher than $499. He mentioned the CPU upgrade quite a bit, almost as if they hadn't really decided on a final spec. Could be a pricing issue. Also, there is currently no plan for any type of trade-in program for current PS4 users, but that could change. They stated that, yeah, that's right off the bat. That's bullshit. I'll be stunned if that stays the same. They stated that the GPU is twice as powerful as standard PS4 and much faster. They did not say exactly how fast, but that it was running at a higher clock speed while being much smaller than the original. It will have a 4K Blu-ray player and will upscale games that are not natively 4K. Also, there was talk of some sort of VR lounge for the Media Player app, which is supposed to be getting a substantial upgrade. It was stated plainly, and with no room for interpretation, that there are developers that already have development kits for the PS4K, and that they are making games that will directly target and take advantage of the higher specs of the PS4K. It was also stated, and this is the part that troubles me, that these games will in fact work for the PS4, but with considerable sacrifices made to performance. It was also made very clear that current games would not be getting any type of performance upgrades by being played on the system, and any benefits to older games would come via patch per game and per developer.
Oh, God, what a mess.
Yeah, this is... So, when asked if this was going to happen, the response was, it's a possibility, but doubtful with the exception of a handful of games. And then they mentioned a few games like Deep Down, which I'd completely fucking forgotten about, and God of War 4. And the guy says that's all he can remember off the top of his head. So, I can hear myself in somebody's mic.
Yeah, Gabe is feedbacking.
Yeah. I think it might be Gabe. So, starting with Brandon, let's get the hottest fucking take you possibly have.
Yeah, I think it's so. This is happening, but it's.
Yep.
I do think it's all gonna work out in the end. But holy shit, is this like a fucking mess right now?
Yeah.
Sony needs to get out there and just fucking lock this shit down. I don't think they have until E3 to just kind of like ride this shit out and just let the fucking circus run. Like they need to like put the kibosh on this right fucking now and lay out the plan, because it's such a fucking mess, and I don't like it. I'm a PC guy. I understand upgrades. I have a 970. I have a current gaming PC, but like consoles are consoles. I've always been both a fan of consoles for what consoles are good for, and PC as well, and they offer separate experiences that both have different positives and negatives. But like, consoles going to PC is just not what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I agree. JT, what do you think, man?
I don't know. Like, will this new thing run Rocket League better? Because that's
It's probably not, man.
really
It
all I
already,
care about.
it already runs at 60 frames now. What do you want?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I got it on PC for. So, I don't know. I like the idea because right now the parity with, there is no parity with PC and PS4. The longer we get into this console cycle, the more the disparity between PC and console is going to get. It's even more so now than it was with PS3 and Xbox 360. You have games coming out that struggle to reach 30 frames and going forward, I don't think developers are going to be comfortable with that at all. So I think this is like a developer-led thing. Like they're like, man, we need some more power. Let's all get together and get a better standard for
But
us.
that's exactly what happened when the PS4 was in development. They were, there was all this thing about like, oh, we're going, Mark Cerny is like, oh, we're going out to the developers and we're asking what they want, and they want RAM. They want more RAM, so we're putting 8 gigs of GDDR5 RAM in there.
Yeah.
And then now they're like 3 years later, they're like, oh, we didn't talk to develop. We didn't know what was gonna, be needed. They're like, are you fucking kidding me?
3 years is a lot of time in like technology time, though.
Well, and they started talking to devs in like 2008.
Yeah.
So a lot's changed.
Yeah, I mean,
It was an
this looked
8-year
really
console.
good.
Like we were coming off of an 8-year console cycle.
Well, so here's my thing, and not to cut in front of Gabe, but I just want to throw this out there. You figured, I mean, it's not like at the beginning of or at the end of December, like, we're going to throw together a fucking PS4K. You have to imagine this has been in development for years now. Which, to me, honestly, like, thinking about that, I mean, when you put it in those terms, it gets me not angry, but I get a little irritated at that, because it makes me feel like everybody who adopted a PS4 before now was in the beta testing phase for the console. And now we're being asked to give another $399 if you want the whole experience.
They couldn't just wait 2 more years and do a PS5?
That's what and that's the other thing is that, I mean, if the specs on this thing are true, I mean, it is considerably more powerful on paper than the PS4 is. And so why not just fucking cut the shit and just call it PS5 and just wait? I mean, this is, I don't know. Gabe, what are your thoughts? But before we get too far down the rabbit hole, I want to know what Gabe and Jeff think. So.
Well, I mean, I understand the reasoning, the possible reasoning behind this new console. I mean, the gap is only going between this generation and the PC hardware is only going to get wider. So I understand the reasoning, but at the same time, the reason I buy a console is because I want to buy that console. I want to stay with it for 5-6 years, and then when they release another console, another generation, I'll replace the last generation with a new one. So I don't feel comfortable having to, fork like $300-$400 on a new console every 3 years,
If you're
especially
$400, it's a PS5.
What?
If you're spending $400, it's a PS5.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's
and considering where I live here in Brazil, where everything is like double plus taxes, for me, I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of in the same boat, Gabe. Jeff, I want to know what you think about this, because without Steve, you're probably the calmest guy on the podcast right now. So
I wouldn't say that.
All right,
bring some Canadian sensibilities to this.
So I mean, it's going to be expensive here.
Ooh, yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, but it is what it is. So it's hard for me to give a good opinion without knowing.
VR for that.
Yeah, it's hard for me to give an opinion without knowing how they're going to handle it and how it's going to be priced. For example, if this thing is like really powerful and $600 US, then it's kind of a niche. It's kind of like in the VR realm where it's for the more hardcore people, but your average person they're still gonna buy the regular PS4. But if the rumors about them pricing it at like $399 are true, and then the original PS4 gets dropped to a more budget priced, and then this is kind of what they're pushing, as the main PS4, and the regular one becomes kind of like iPhone has their iPhone C or whatever like that. It depends. Are they going to focus on this as the PS4 experience, and the other one is the cheap option, or are they going to keep pushing the other one as like, this is PS4, and this is just something if you want a little bit extra? Like, I don't know which way they're going to go.
Who would buy a PlayStation 4 right now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Well, and
That's
you know
the
what?
problem,
is doing the same thing though, right?
That's the point that I made on. You know,
Who would buy a console right now?
Exactly. Yeah. Why not
yeah.
just build a PC?
Well, and so that's kind of the point I made on Twitter, and
Modular and upgrade
I
whenever.
said, well, so I threw it on Twitter a few hours ago. I said, look, I said Sony needs to get in front of this now because PS4 sales will tank. I mean, why would you buy one now when you know something much better is coming out soon? And to their credit, Jeff and Gabe both made really good points. They said, well, I mean, right now this is a NeoGAF and a Reddit thing. That doesn't represent but a fraction of the console market, and that's true. And I mean, those are really good points. But at the same time, this isn't a good look. And we don't. And I will be stunned. I will be fucking stunned if Sony can afford to wait to June to really. I mean, in my opinion, they have to get in front of this now.
Yeah, at least within the next couple weeks.
They have to. I mean, we don't know how much of what this guy said is true. We don't, just because he's bish vetted.
I doubt things like no trading program.
Yeah, and so hold on. Well, the exact wording. I've got the thing right here.
There's some more weird wording in there too, like when he says that there'll be sacrifices to performance. I think he's talking about relative to what you would get on PS4K, because like we're already getting like devs. I mean, they're not going to ignore the current ones, right? There's 40 million PS4s and 20 million Xbox Ones, and then you already have games like Assassin's Creed Unity that runs at like 900p, 25 FPS, or Quantum Break at 720 and 30. Like, you can't go much lower than that, so that part doesn't make sense to me at all.
Okay, so but JT, go ahead, dude.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I'm completely okay with this existing. Like, the way that they're handling it is horrible, but I'm okay with it existing because I don't want to play a 720p game in 2016. Like, that's just unheard of anymore. I feel our standards need to be at least 1080p and 30 frames, and that's what everybody thought that the PS4 and Xbone were going to be this console cycle. Everybody took that for granted. If not 60 frames, and so like. If developers can't hit that with what they're trying to do already, there needs to be new hardware, and I'm cool with that. But
well, somebody in chat made a really good point here. Where is it? Here it is. It's so strange that a retailer marketing meeting would be given such highly sensitive information.
And he's
especially
just like,
when they don't have the specs nailed down. Why are they? Yeah.
I mean,
the phrasing seemed like his employers were okay with him putting this information out there.
Yeah, that has to make you wonder. Like, what do you guys think of? I mean, could this be a controlled leak from Sony to gauge consumer and market reaction before they actually move on something like this?
That's not an awful suggestion. No. I mean, as far as conspiracy theories go, that's more reasonable than usual.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hold on. Usual based on my standards? I'm not.
No, usual on standard.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa, hold on a minute, dude. Yeah.
Speculation.
Like the fucking NX tree shit.
Oh yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So here's the other thing that I've been wondering about, and I want to get everybody's take on this, is the fact that so now if they're targeting PS4K as the standard for games going forward when it releases, and then they're going to release everything on PS4, but with considerable sacrifices made. In essence, like, what does that do to game dev time? Because there are games getting delayed left and right already as it is. I mean, Uncharted 4 has been delayed God knows how many times. The Order was delayed 5 months. The Witcher 3 was delayed, almost a year, I think. Batman Arkham Knight was delayed like 8 or 9 months. Deus Ex has been delayed till August. Fucking No Man's, The Last Guardian was delayed for 9 years.
Final Fantasy 15.
Final Fantasy 15 is delayed for 12. So what? So does this mean? What do you guys think devs are going to think about? Like, what do you think the reaction in the development community is to this? Because this just seems like a lot of fucking
all
work.
about it with deep down, I guess.
I refuse to believe that game fucking exists. And
Yeah.
and if it does, I still don't think it's going to look anything like what we saw in those trailers. I refuse to fucking believe it. Nope. No way.
It was like that one game from Tequila Works. What was it called? Rhyme. It was just a trailer, and they had no foundation of the game whatsoever. That trailer was just completely manufactured.
Smoke and mirrors.
That's what Deep Down was. It was just, this would be cool if this existed. So let's try and get there. And then they realized, we can't. So they scrapped it. I don't think it exists anymore.
Did you guys see the post in NeoGAF about the I can't remember who it was, but he said Q1 2017 release for this thing?
For what?
For PS4K.
Yeah.
You know,
they wouldn't get it out for the holiday, really?
I wouldn't. I mean, shit, dude. I mean, why steal the thunder? I mean, PSVR was coming out in October. I mean, that would. I mean, at that point, you've got two $399 fucking consoles, basically.
This whole thing is
this whole thing. I don't understand.
But
I don't fucking understand.
If you announce, I mean, they're not going to wait till the fall to announce it. So if you announce it and say it's coming January, fucking no one's going to buy a PS4 for October, November, December. So you have to launch it before the holiday.
How did this happen? What is I hate everything about this.
Well,
it has to be dead.
Like I said, it's probably going to work out in the end, but what the fuck is going on right now?
So, which is why I honestly think that Sony, I mean, they have to get in front of us, and I think they will. I think we're going to hear something way before E3 because
I'm not all doom and gloom. Like, it's going to work out, but fucking how it's going to work, please.
I'm not doom and gloom, but I've got concerns about what. So, I mean, it's obvious that this is marking a sea change in how we view console generations and what this means for console iterations going forward. Which to me, honestly, to me is the bigger news than PS4K.
On Giant Bomb, they said, just drop the numbers. It's just the PlayStation brand, and they just keep releasing iterative consoles. I mean, that makes sense.
So So before we go any further, I got a question in chat that I wanted to address from Asan, our pal Asan. Question everybody in chat and on the panel: if you see God of War 4, Bloodborne 2, and Horizon all running at a much higher visual quality than what we currently have, would you guys buy?
With a
I'm already in. I'm in day one.
And that's kind of the critical thing with me, Jeff, is that I sit here and I rant and I rail about it. Will I buy it on day one? Yeah.
Those 4K trophies, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I can sit here, rant and rave and huff and haw all I want, but yeah, I'm in day one. However, having said that, depending on when this thing launches, I may or may not get a PSVR because $399 is $399. And that's
right after the holidays,
and that's my other concern with what this and this is really kind of hits home what Brandon said about what the fuck is happening, because I mean, let's say this thing does launch first quarter of 2017 and they announce it at E3. If they say this thing's coming out early next year, I'm not going out to get the fucking PSVR. I'm going to wait for a PS4K. So I could honest to God see this thing really cutting the PSVR sales, and from a marketing standpoint, I don't understand what's happening right now. I don't get it. It's bad. And granted, but again, we don't. And I want to point out to everybody in chat and everybody listening. All we have right now are rumors. Like, we don't know if any of this is actually.
But
true.
There's so many rumors coming in from different places that this shit is happening. It's real.
Oh, it's happening.
I think at this point, the developers are more ready for the 4K than the consumers are, because how many people do you know owns a 4K TV? I know 0. I want to get one, but that's still far off.
I know one.
If they started selling even Q1 2017, how many people are going to have 4K TVs by then? I don't think that's going to reach the market saturation. The majority of the market is not going to have 4K TVs, and so this whole thing is just going to be better insides for running games better, and so their whole marketing pitch would be for nothing, because it's PlayStation 4K, you can play 4K Blu-ray on it. Okay, well, you have a 1080p TV, that doesn't matter. People have to be ready for it too, not just the people who are making stuff for it.
I know what you know what this means, and this is what we're not talking about. It needs to be discussed, and it needs to be realized, is that we may actually get a From Software game that hits a stable 30 frames a second.
No.
That to me is pretty fucking incredible.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I know, right? I'd love to go back to Blytown.
Dark Souls 2 did run at 60.
Yeah, but that was well. So okay, so that's the other thing, dude, is that people are saying, oh, I mean, we have developers who have trouble hitting 1080p 30 frames a second as it is. You know, so I mean, you're telling me, and so I guess all those rumors that it was going to upscale all your older PS4 games, I guess that's bullshit, right? Like, and we called that. I mean, we at least called that. We said there's no way that's going to happen, and it doesn't. It doesn't
it can upscale them. It just won't be rendering them at 4K.
That's what I mean. Yeah. But so there was also something in this post that mentioned that they hadn't settled on a price yet. They were discussing a better CPU, which would raise the price to $499. $499, and I'm out.
The CPU is the worst part of these consoles. That's the part where they cheap the fuck out on.
I will say this: at $399, I'm in day one. Yes, sure. But $499, nope.
Give me $399 with a $200 trade-in program.
Well, that's the thing, dude. Like I do not. See, I'm starting to wonder how much of this is true and how much of this is. I don't know. So how. What has this guy leaked in the past? I don't know anything about this guy.
I was going to ask you that question at the beginning.
I've seen him post sales figures and stuff before, which I don't think anyone's ever verified. All I know is he works at GameStop.
This is huge.
So this guy works at GameStop and he's privy to all this?
Well, probably not. Not at a local level. He probably works at a executive.
Yeah, he's either like a district manager or he has access to sales figures.
But why would he have? But why would he have access to all this? This seems really sensitive.
It does, and
very specific.
Okay with leaking it.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, yeah, that's Gabe just made a really good point. I mean, this is extremely specific. This is extremely specific. He even says that. He even talks about a VR lounge for the media player app. Why would a fucking GameStop executive know about this? I mean, I don't.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff in there for sure.
I don't know
why you're worried about. We dispose, the more weird it sounds.
Oh, that's why rumors are great, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, the responses in this gap are absolutely fucking.
Do you guys
cool.
remember that NX fake controller? That was awesome.
I thought that was a PS Vita when I first saw the picture.
That would be a sick Vita. Vita 2? Yeah.
It looked so. I had been through the thread and I was looking through Twitter, and the response to this has been. It seems like it's almost overwhelmingly negative.
How could you possibly be happy about this? I really don't understand.
I don't. Well, that's the funny thing.
That like clearly delineate what's going on. Then there's something to be excited about. Maybe.
Well, and that's the thing is like, even though I am sitting here and I'm saying I'm in day one. I'm still not right now. I'm not happy about it because I do feel like. I mean, this thing has been in development for years, maybe even as soon as the PS4 launched. I mean, hell, this may be the fucking original vision that Sony had for the PS4. I mean, I don't know, and so I feel kind of like we're all getting nickel and dime here.
After an 8-year generation.
Yeah, that's dude. I mean, with this, and that brings me to I think what should be our next topic is with this, the days of traditional console generations are gone. I mean, things are changing now. So, what is their response, and when does it have to be, and what do they have to do?
They're gonna do the same shit.
Yeah. I mean, this is I mean, they're gonna have to do something.
It's just so strange that Sony's leading the charge. Like this is something you expect from Microsoft because they're kind of struggling to keep pace. Like PS4 is selling more than they know what to do with. Like, it's just weird that they want to be the pioneers. I don't know.
Well, Sony thinks they can do no wrong now. They're like, oh, we're selling like hotcakes.
That's my big concern. Is this going to turn into Sony 2006 again? I mean, it seems like there's a cycle with them, right? Like, they were, PS2 sold great, and they were like, oh, thanks for buying our console, we love you, blah blah blah, and then PS3
get another job,
get a second job, it's coming in at $5.99, and fucking Ridge Racer and Giant Enemy Crabs, and it's gonna be awesome. Here's Lair. And then they were, it fucking tanked, and for those first couple of years, and they learned their lesson. They came back. They came back with the PS4, and everybody's like, yay! And then it's selling higher than the PS2 is, and now they're like, guess what, guys? And I'm just like,
here's the rug, and here's us pulling it out under.
I just, I can almost hear fucking Ken Kutaragi screaming Ridge Racer at me, or not Kutaragi, fucking Kasaragi. But
Kutaraga's not back.
Yeah, I don't know why I said Ken Kutaragi.
He was the one who said to get a second job.
Okay, so in chat, John, what makes you guys think that original PS4s will stop working? It's not a question of will they stop working. It's a question of people feeling that their purchases are devalued. I mean,
like, look at the new 3DS compared to the 3DS, and look at like the way Hyrule Warriors runs on fucking old 3DS. It's like unplayable. It's like 20 frames a second. Shit.
It's
and
worse than that.
That's what I'm afraid of for the PS4. I'm gonna get fucking The Last of Us 2, and it's gonna run at fucking like 20 frames a second on the regular PS4.
And that's the part that's going to be the mess for both developers and consumers, because like they're going to be worried about optimizing their software for older stuff, kind of like how like the big thing about building Android games. You have so many different. It's not the same deal because there's like millions of Android builds, but you have to take into account a lesser hardware, and then that's going to hold. It's basically like Destiny on PS3 and PS4. People were saying, oh, like it was held back by the PS3 version, like.
Well,
just gonna do that again.
You know what? Here's a really good example: Shadow of Mordor. Look at the difference on when you pull up some videos on YouTube and look at gameplay of Shadow of Mordor on PS4 and compared to PS3. It is abominable.
But they didn't give a shit about last gen for that game.
It was done by a different studio.
But this forces them to care.
Yeah.
Because PS4, like the regular PS4s, aren't just going to go away. Like there's 30 million people.
They saw the fucking.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. That's the other thing. I mean, you got to figure. So I mean, the last sales figures we had were 36 million worldwide. So by now, if it's not 40, it's damn close to it. So I mean, you've got an install base of 40 million people out there. How do you market this? How do you tell them, guys, if you want the true PS4 experience, you need to give us another $399?
The same way Apple does every year with the iPhone.
But this is different.
Just come out with a commercial with jingly music and like it does this now.
Have the price in tiny little font at the bottom. But I mean, so. But here's the thing, guys. Does this even matter to the casual crowd? Because I mean, everybody on this podcast and everybody in chat. I would say we are core gamers.
Only if Grand Theft Auto 6 is PS4K exclusive, then yeah.
Sony, if Sony ever does a PS4K exclusive game, wow.
I mean, yeah, the mainstream cares about fucking Madden, Call of Duty, and FIFA.
But I mean,
as long as it plays those, they'll be all right.
Do you guys think Sony is going to? I mean, so here's the deal. Do you think? I mean, are Sony gonna use this like 2 different SKUs, or is this gonna slowly phase out the PS4? Vanilla PS4, I guess we can call it now, or PlayStation Pleb Station. I don't know what you want to call it, but
I think this is the equivalent of a Slim.
Yes.
Pleb Station 4.
That's perfect.
But yeah, my Pleb Station. I'm gonna call it that from now on. But no, seriously, like, do you think they'll market this as like the PS4 Slim? Just
much.
Because
I don't think they'll market it as the true PS4. It'll be like, either the PS4 Slim or the PS4 Elite.
It's the second
Something
like PS4.
PS4.
Yeah. PS4 Platinum.
What if they call God of War 4 God of War 4K?
No.
I can see them being so douchey about it. I can see them being so douchey about it.
4K.
I can absolutely fucking see douchiness on that standard. I absolutely can. But so here's the thing, like, how necessary is this really? I mean, have you guys seen Uncharted 4? That shit looks amazing.
Have you played The Witcher 3?
Yeah, I mean, how much better can these games look? I mean, I get it. Okay, Uncharted 4 will run at 60 frames a second.
Well,
but
I think it's more about, fucking VR where they need a locked 90 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to like when news of this first broke. Like I laughed it off. Like I'll admit, and now I'm eating crow. I mean, I was like, yeah, it's not gonna. All it's gonna be is a Blu-ray or 4K Blu-ray player, and it's gonna have a built-in PSVR box inside of it. And it's not actually gonna make it's not gonna do anything different than a PS4. Other than that, and I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. So I'll eat my crow, and I won't enjoy it, but I'll eat it. But I will be very, very curious to see exactly when we hear word, because Sony is looking at Twitter and places like NeoGAF and Reddit very, very carefully, very closely right now. And if anybody thinks they're not, then you're just deluding yourself. And what strikes me as interesting is that the original report from Kotaku, excuse me, the original report from Kotaku mentioned the word exploratory. So when you take stuff like that and you combine it with the fact that this is awfully specific information for a GameStop employee, I don't care what level he is. This is R&D. I mean, these are trade secrets. And so this is something that's still in development. So I'm wondering more and more whether or not this is a controlled leak from Sony to gauge market reaction. I don't know. I mean, it just seems to me. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of information coming all at once, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
You know, and just like Gabe said, it's very, very specific. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's troubling. I'm definitely not happy about it, and I don't think I'm alone in that. You know, like I'd like to know what some of our people in chat think about this. I mean, I know where Ason stands, and I know where a few other guys stand, but I don't know. Our fellows in chat, what do you guys think? And while you're talking about that, do you guys think that this is possibly heating up due to? I mean, do you think this is a reaction to Xbox or to Phil Spencer talking about a possible upgradable Xbox?
I don't think it's a reaction.
It's not a react. Yeah, they've been working on this for a while.
Sony and Microsoft are in cahoots.
I don't like the implication that like people feel like their regular PS4 games are going to be gimped compared to this new one, because you're already getting all these demos are shown on a PC at E3, and then you're never getting the full experience on a console anyway, and all you're doing with PS4K is getting what high-end PC users are playing, basically. So it's, I don't think you're still going to get the exact same games and play them the exact same way you do now. It's just now there's a better experience you can have, but it's on a console instead of a PC. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing either. But at the same time, and again, there are a lot of unknowns. But I think Sony definitely needs to get in front of this and make certain overtures. Like for example, like Brandon said, I absolutely think there needs to be some kind of trade-in program. That's clear. I also think, obviously this goes without saying, but when this thing launches, you have to lower the price of the PS4 or the Plebe Station 4 by a considerable amount. That's all I'm calling it from now on. I don't care.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But I would love to see what this is going to do to pre-orders of the PSVR, because I can already tell you right now. We know PS4K is real, and like I've said before, there is no way I'm going for PSVR over a 4K system. It's just not going to happen. And I would be willing to bet that I would love to have been a fly on the wall at whatever marketing meeting they held to come up with this. And I would love to. What do you guys think Sony is thinking? Like seeing all this negative reaction. Like, what do you think they're thinking right now? Like, what do you think's going through their heads right now?
Probably the same thing that Microsoft thought before E3 2013.
Shit!
No, too big to fucking fail.
Do you guys think there's a chance that this thing doesn't even come out, or at least it gets pushed back due to all the fucking? Because the backlash, at least on gaming forums, has been massive.
Now, if it's happening, it's happening. They won't care how many people complain.
Mm-hmm.
If this has been in the works for years, it's happening.
I will say this, and I will say this: a lot of people I find that people threatening to leave PS4 gaming or console gaming for PC is laughable, because it's like, what? So what? As opposed to upgrading every 3 years, you're gonna do it every year? That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
But
I upgrade my GPU like every 2 years. And that's fine, because that's a fucking PC. That's the way PCs have always been. And there's things about the PC, like I said at the beginning. I game on a console for the simplicity of it, and sometimes I like gaming on the PC for the complexity of it. And it's nice to be able to have both things.
So, but assuming you're just getting more powerful innards, you still get all the same simplicity. You still have the same UI, no drivers.
Do we know?
Blocks, right?
Do we know that we have the same UI?
Well, you would assume. I don't know.
I would assume it's the same OS. But what if they do this every fucking 2 years? Then yeah, I don't want to ever buy another console again. I will just continually upgrade my PC. That's fine.
Yeah, and so I think that's kind of the danger that they run into is at what point, I mean, at what point do people say, fuck it, why wouldn't I just do a PC? Because, you know, I mean, the whole appeal behind a console is being able to pull it out of the box, plug it in, and not have to unplug it for the next 5 to 6 years. You know, you've spent your $3.99 or $2.99, and you've got your console, and that's it. You're done. You know, this to me, it seems right now, and having said that, I'm going to buy one day one. It seems right now like a huge misstep on Sony's part. I mean, why? The PS4 is selling so well. It just doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. I mean, I don't. Which is why I'm worried about arrogant Sony coming back, because I'm starting to wonder if all the success PS4 has had has just gone completely to their fucking successful Sony. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm liking what they're doing here. But I don't know. I mean, I mean, if you look at GAF right now, I mean, this thread is already, how many pages are we at? So this thread went up today at what, around midday, and there's already 101 pages of people just melting the fuck down. And you know, I feel like, I mean, there's a 40 million people already bought this thing, and I just, you know, I've got nothing else. I mean, it boggles my fucking mind. I was not expecting this at all.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it's hard to imagine Sony looking at their sales, looking at the PS4 and saying, well, shit, we need a new system, which is why I think it has to have come from developers, somewhat, right?
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if developers. As a developer, like, this is just more work for me, you know. And now, I mean, I've got to put down. So, the part that really surprises me is that they're not making games. Is they're not targeting PS4 and then upscaling games for PS4K. They're targeting PS4K, and then downscaling games with significant compromise, whatever the fuck that means.
But that's how they're developed. Like, the assets are always higher quality than what you get, which is why you get remasters, right, with the original texture sizes and stuff.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Should they call this PS4 remastered?
Yeah.
That's a good name for it, right? But I mean,
it is truly the generation.
It really is, dude. Like, you know, there have been some great. I'll tell you what.
I have to remaster consoles.
And then we can get The Last of Us remastered for PS4.
For PS4K. Yeah. So, and that's
4K.
That's the part I'm really looking forward to, is everything I've already played on PS4 being remastered in 4K. I'm really, really looking. I can't.
Final Fantasy X HD.
I really hope any game with a 4 in its title has a K after it. That would be so douchey, and I would absolutely fucking love it.
It's very Nintendo-esque, yeah.
It really, really is. You know, so I don't know, like, so I don't know. Let's talk sales. Sales-wise, like, what do you guys think is going to happen? Let's say all the shit in that post is true. Let's say it's all fucking true, and it's coming out at $3.99. What do you think what do you guys think this thing sells at? Like, do you think it's going to be a success? Do you think it's going to kill the PS4 like some people are saying on GAF and Twitter? I don't know. I'll throw it to you guys. What do you think?
If Xbox also comes out with a upgrade, and then consumers are convinced that this is the okay thing, like that they're okay with this, and this is going to be the future of like upgrading your console every 3 years or whatever that is, then I think it'll do fine. But if Sony's the only one doing it, like, hey guys, buy this, and then Xbox is like, either they don't upgrade the Xbox and just push Windows, or whatever their plan is. If they're not on board too, I think they're gonna have problem convincing people that this is the thing to do. Like, just because, you know, like, I buy a PS4, I already got that. I got that under my shoulder, so I'm gonna buy games for that. And if only one person is coming out with upgraded games, if only one manufacturer is coming out with upgraded games, I'm not sure that people are going to jump on board.
Well, I think
competition is better, right?
Well, I mean, I also think that depends on who the market is, on who they're marketing this towards. I mean, I can't see this right out the gate. I can't see this being marketed to the very, very big casual crowd on PS4. I mean, let's face it, the majority of any crowd on any console is, I mean, they're casual gamers. There are more casual gamers than hardcore gamers. I don't think anybody can debate that. So I see this being marketed to guys like us.
Well,
Guys on this podcast and guys in our chat.
I think it's more of like a future-proofing move, though, too, because they don't want to be left in. When everybody goes to 4K, it hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen soon. And the same way that PS3 it launched at like 720p was like the norm, right? And then everything got upscaled to 1080p, right? Is that how it worked? Like we're gonna be in the same like transition period. I think like they're gonna future-proof for all this new 4K thing that people are gonna be obsessed with, and kind of in the same way, kind of like 3D, but not really, because that didn't really take off. 4K is gonna be bigger than 3D TVs.
No question about that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So I just think they don't want to miss the bandwagon on that.
I don't know. What do the rest of you guys think? I mean, what do you think this thing is going to do sales-wise? We haven't heard from everybody yet.
I'm a
Are we
terrible
saying, like-
sales predictor.
What's that?
What are we assuming the price point is? Are you saying, like,
So let's. I think the most likely price point is $399. It was mentioned in the post, and I think I thought that Sony would be dumb enough to divide their player base. I was wrong, but I'm assuming I'm operating under the good faith that they're not so stupid as to let this thing come in at anything over $399. So $399.
I don't know. We need
Yeah.
Huge here. Why isn't he here?
Z-Huge, get in chat. I'm summoning. Somebody get a Pokeball and throw it out. And
Like-
summon Z-Huge.
I mean, in
Yeah.
theory, it should sell decent because people have been buying PS4 at $399. So this one should still move units at that price, considering it's even better. But then a bunch of people are going to jump on the cheaper PS4, right? So 50-50 split? I don't know.
Yeah, if you bump the cheaper one down to like it was mentioned in chat, like $249, there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna buy that for
Or
Christmas.
don't they just stop manufacturing the old PS4s and just only manufacture PS4Ks?
I think eventually that's the plan. Yeah, I think eventually they'll just phase out the PS4.
That's what they do with slim models.
Yeah, just phase the shit out. I mean, make it look sexy and make it run better, and then just phase the older model out. But I mean, this is different though. I mean, this is.
Oh, I know it's different, but I'm like it's still sort of like a slim model, except it's a slim model that has more power.
I mean, it sort of is, but I mean, so you have to remember that. I mean, not remember, but you have to imagine they're gonna. I mean, there's going to be a change in the form factor of this thing too, right? Like they can't. I don't think they can just have it look like a PS4, right?
Oh, they'll have different form factor, different power usage, all that sort of shit.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's got to come in. I think it'll come in much smaller. I think it'll look like what you would imagine a PS4 Slim would look like.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I can absolutely see that. I'm still. I just. I mean, this is a hard one to call. I still don't really know what I think about it. I just don't. It'll be interesting to see it'll be interesting to see what major news sites say about this, or major gaming sites, because I haven't seen this get picked up by IGN or GameSpot or anything else. I saw Patrick Klepek mention it on Twitter, and he mentioned he was going to write something up about it on Kotaku, but that's all I've seen. If you go to Google right now and you type in PS4K, the #1 result that comes up is that NeoGAF thread.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think casual people are really, like, affected by this, because they haven't heard about it. Like, they're not on GAF, right? They're not on Twitter. Yeah.
No, yeah. No, well, and that's the thing, and that's kind of the really good point that you made, Jeff, was the fact that, I mean, the more. Hold on. Okay, yeah, got it. Go ahead, GT. And I will say, by the way, I want to throw out in about 10 or 12 minutes, we're all going to be watching the Final Fantasy 15 Uncovered event. I'm going to stay online, and I think Jeff, you're planning on staying online too, right?
Yeah, I'll stick around.
All right. Anybody else sticking around?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think most of us are going to stick around and watch that live. So if you guys want to hang out with us, and listen to our reactions on it. Maybe watch it with us. That would be cool. We would like that because
So you can make GIFs of like the old game trailer reveal of the Final Fantasy VII remake, and then
I know,
jump in
right?
our seats.
I know. God,
It was
opportunity
confirmed
to
there's
do
no
that.
FF7 remake news tonight, though.
what if we got a Final Fantasy VII remake launch trailer tonight?
No, it was confirmed there's no
I want
FF7
to
remake
be here to see
whatsoever
Brandon
tonight.
break the fuck down. I want to.
Oh, man.
So there's a rumor going around about a Final Fantasy 15 demo, a new one.
It ain't no rumor. It's coming tonight.
Is it coming? Is it coming tonight? Is it going to be able to
Did you not
download
read
tonight?
the leaks, man? Everything got leaked. Game comes out. I don't want. You know what? I don't want to
Yeah,
spoil
don't-
it.
Nah, don't spoil it
Yeah,
for
yeah,
anyone.
spoil it. That's gonna be fun,
I'm
man.
tight about spoilers.
September 2017.
No,
So you get
not quite.
all our viewers. They came here for PS4K, and hopefully they'll stay for Final Fantasy 15,
Stay, guys.
coming September 2018.
Yep.
Did I just spoil the?
It's a launch
Did I
title.
spoil the
of
release date?
PS4K.
Launch time.
So do we want to do predictions before we?
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay.
So we'll do 3 predictions per person. Just on anything.
I'll start.
Okay, so when
About anything, I predict that tomorrow morning we're gonna have pancakes
Fuck off.
and turkey sausage for
all
breakfast.
right, so let's
Okay,
do when assuming everything we read is right. When are they going to announce it?
E3.
E3.
No. I take that back.
That's a bad
Brandon, go
idea.
Yeah, I take that back. They have to announce it earlier. Who else?
They have to.
JT, when are they gonna announce this thing?
I think E3 is realistic. I think they're sitting on it for a reason. They're like, this leak stuff can leak as long as they want, and then yeah, E3. I'm sticking with E E3.
Okay. Gabe?
PSX.
Ooh.
They're going to wait
Yeah.
till December?
It's no
I like
fucking
it.
way. It's a
That's
bold
a
prediction, though.
prediction.
It's a bold strategy, Con.
They have PS VR coming. They can't announce another console, and we also have a VR coming. I don't know. I just think it's gonna.
You know,
I
even with
actually
the,
think PSX is more realistic than announcing it in the next couple weeks. I
there
really
actually
do.
is. You know what, JT? I'm starting to. Yeah, no. Maybe there's something to that. I mean, like you guys said. I mean, the majority of gamers aren't on NeoGAF. They're not on Reddit. Why not just keep their fucking mouth shut about it? and let PSVR do its thing, and then in December say, hey guys, PS4K. Now that you've all spent $399 on a PSVR, why don't you go the rest of the way? So I don't know. Maybe there's some merit to that.
Yeah, remember when watching E3 live streams like on G4 and all that stuff of Kevin Piera streaming all these conferences? Remember when that was exciting because people didn't know stuff already? Like it was for me, at least. And you don't get that anymore.
Yeah. All right. How about this? How about this for a prediction? What is this thing going to sell in its first year?
10
We don't have price.
I don't fucking know.
At $399.
Right.
At $399.
$399 times
Oh,
10.
All right. Okay. How about this? I'll rephrase the question. Coming out the gate, is this thing going to have the same success that PS4 had?
No.
No.
That many
No way.
dollars worth.
That many dollars worth?
Yep.
Z Huge, where are you?
Not buy a PS4.
Okay. And what about what was that, Gabe?
Most people who already bought the PS4, mostly casuals, would not buy a PS4K. They already have a PS4. Why the hell would they need another console? It doesn't matter if
I have friends that are still playing on PS3 or 360.
Yeah. Well, no, and
I know
and
people who still buy PS2.
Well,
Yeah.
that kind of ties into what I was saying is that I think this is going to be marketed to guys like us, guys like our listeners, and not fucking Jimmy, 12-year-old Jimmy, whose mom is getting him a PS4 for Christmas. She's not going to care about this. She probably won't even fucking know about this, to be honest with you. So okay, and we'll do one more prediction.
So how about is this going to replace the current PS4, or are they going to sell them both?
Both for a while,
Yeah,
and then phase it out.
yeah, they'll phase it out after a few
Shove
years.
it under the rug. I would say like a year and a half. Like only pay attention to this. It's gonna be hard not to pay attention to it, but
It will, and man, their marketing had better just whip up a fucking storm. That marketing needs to be on point for this, because this is going to be a hard sell for a lot of people. Like guys like us, we're in. But for the greater crowd, for the bigger crowd, this is a tough sell. It is, because guys like us, we hear about stuff like this in 4K resolution, and that means something to us. But for the general audience, it doesn't mean a whole lot, especially when it comes to gaming consoles. So, and I'm sure Sony's got their fucking marketing team just sitting around and working shit up right now. But
here's a bold prediction: the PS4K and PSVR bundle will be the hottest selling item of holiday 2017.
Ooh.
You won't be able to find it anywhere because it takes up a lot of space in retail shelves. So there's not going to be a lot.
Each store gets 5.
Yeah,
there's not going to be a lot, because the fucking thing's going to cost a bundle with dude. That's a $900 bundle.
Jesus.
Yeah, at least.
A $900 bundle.
I don't know. What would that be? Like $2,500, something like that.
We're going back to Neo Geo times.
Gabe, how much is this going to cost down in Brazil? Because didn't you guys have to pay like $1,000 for the fucking
It's gonna be
PS4?
fucking $5,000.
Here in Brazil, man, you can never tell.
Jesus Christ.
So wonder how much PSVR costs here.
Hey, Z-Huge is here.
Oh my God.
You're here too late, Z-Huge. Z-Huge, okay, now that you're here, listen to me, Z-Huge. Listen to me. How much is this thing going to sell? First year sales, go. And while we're waiting on that, everybody get your fucking Final Fantasy 15 streams.
Oh, that's a good call.
Ready to go.
I am super hyped for this shit.
Well, I think this is a good time for me to drop out. It was
Are you
fun.
dropping out, JT? Oh,
Yeah, I gotta go. I got some Rocket League to
Whatever,
to
man.
play.
Whatever, man. Just go.
Hey, if there's ever like any Final Fantasy crossover, like if Noctis is like a topper for Rocket League, I'm there. But yeah.
All right. Well, everybody say bye-bye to JT. I hope everybody in chat is going to. Z-Huge says it's gonna sell 4K.
Hot scoops only here.
Yeah, you heard it. You heard it here first.
All right.
Where do I find this stream, by the way?
Oh, yeah, I've got it up right now. I can. In fact, if people don't have the live Final Fantasy 15 shit, I'm going to throw it in chat right now.
That is good. You guys are gonna have to switch to the.
Just open it up in a new window.
Gabe, can your internet handle 2 things at once? Is what's going to happen to you?
Hey, you've just insulted the entire country of Brazil, dude.
No, I insulted Gabe's internet, which is deserved at this point.
It is, yeah, it is. Looks like we got dude. We're gonna have a crowd hanging out and chat with us. I like that. Thanks, guys. We're glad you're here.
Guys are gonna switch to the other microphone. Please let me know if I
Oh
sound.
God, here comes Cyborg Gabe.
That's all. Hope for the best.
Ooh, here we go. Ooh, take your seats.
Take your seats.
5 minutes away from showtime.
Right back.
Man, that guy has a rich voice. That's almost as soothing as Jeff's voice.
Oh, Z-Huge just taken off. Thanks for nothing.
Damn it, Z-Huge. Well, at least he came.
How long is this stream
I think
event?
it's supposed to be like an hour, right? Something like that. Greg Miller and Tim Geddes are hosting it.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, it seems like an odd choice.
All right, all those fucking kind of funny jokes from this morning make sense now.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I had no fucking idea. I don't give a shit about those guys.
Z-Huge says he's still here. Awkward.
Yo, you're not gonna end the podcast here?
Take back everything I said.
Do you guys want to stay live, or we're gonna keep going? I say we keep going.
Wrap it up and then go back live again.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap this up real quick, and we're gonna go live again. Okay, so I will shoot the link out on Twitter. Hopefully you join us. So stay tuned.
Everyone should just have their cell phones on fucking Final Fantasy fan